Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite horror films of the decade. Wait a minute, October has passed and I'm still doing horror shit? Apparently. I could have done this in October, but yes, I thought I'd just do my favorite horror films of this decade. Yes, I'm doing this with romance films, but I'm going to be doing it with horror films. I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite horror films of each decade, which will not be leading to my best horror films, because I've already done that top 10 list, my best and worst horror films, but I'm going to be doing it through the 2010s, the 2000s, 90s, 80s, the classic era, all that stuff. All my favorite horror films of those decades, so look forward to that. But this one I'm doing this decade, from 2010 to 2018. So yeah, let's get to it. Here's my top 10 favorite horror films of this decade, 2010, 2018. And yes, and for top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Sinister, The Witch, Insidious, Oculus, Your Next. I'm thinking of anime apparently. Blah, 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 blah. Rewind. You're Next, It Follows, Green Room, Don't Breathe, and Let Me In. All great horror films, just gonna make the top 10 list. But who did make my top 10? What's my number 10? My number 10 is a film I regret not reviewing, but I saw it way too late to review. It's so good. It's so freaking good. And that is The Autopsy of Jane Doe. So good. This is amazing. This stars Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox, and it's basically about this father and son. They both work in the morgue with dead bodies and shit like that, and they get this dead body. It's Jane Doe, the name of the body and stuff, and basically, yeah, some creepy shit starts happening, like with this body, it's like haunted and stuff, and crazy shit's happening in the their autopsy office, which is like below their house and stuff, and basically they get stuck down there with an essence, and that's all I gotta say. There's no spoilers for this film, but this is a creepy film. Creepy music, an unsettling score, two great performances, and a story I just did not see coming. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. There was always something. I'm like, whoa, 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 what's gonna happen? Whoa, whoa, what's gonna happen next? It's really great. It's spooky. It's frightening. It's such an entertaining film. Love it. Coming in number 9 is a film that just came out last year, and that is Hiya, Georgie. It. Yes. Don't you want your butt back? Come on. Take it. Take it, Georgie. Pennywise. Such a good film. Entertaining. It's Stand By Me meets Nightmare on Elm Street. That's how you pitch this film. Great film. What this director did with this film, Mr. Muschietti, amazing job. So good, so well directed. It's a great coming of age story, but it's also a spooky ass horror film. And I didn't even like the original It miniseries. Tim Curry is great in that film, but that film is so overrated, so fucking hyped. Can't stand that film. This one is good. This is how you do it. You get that kid from Stranger Things and you make him a foul-mouthed little shit, and he's fucking awesome and steals the whole movie. Fucking love Richie. Great kids, great actors. All of them did a great job. Bill Skarsgård was creepy as shit. It's well directed. It's spooky. I can't wait for chapter 2. And yeah, great film. Coming in number 8 is a film that every time, I keep saying it, it gets better and better every time I watch it. And I was harsh a little bit when I first reviewed it, but I'm starting to love it more and more as it keeps, like, ages with time. And it's not even that old. And that's Lights Out. Lights Out is so good. I don't know what this is. The director of Annabelle Creation did this, and it's so good. Again, when I first watched it, I thought it was a good film. Nothing amazing, but I thought it was good. But the more times I watch it, I have the Blu-ray now, and the more times I watch it, it's just so good, so spooky. It's so simple and to the point. And that's why I like it. I like the characters. They're smart characters. They're likable characters. And the movie doesn't fuck around. It doesn't, like, drag or anything. It doesn't be overly dramatized. It is just a simple ghost story. And it does the story, and then it ends. It's just so simple and to the point, and can't help but respect it. Coming in number 7 is Paranormal Activity 2. Yes, my favorite of the Paranormal Activity films. Really great film. Definitely a really great and worthy sequel. Out of the franchise, the first 2 are the only good ones. The first one was a good, spooky, found footage film. The second one was better. It adds more to the mythology and the story of this unsettling. This whole franchise is unsettling because of this one. The story that happens, the sister of the main character, of the first one is the main character in this one. And what happens to her and the family is unsettling and spooky and shit. And Yeah, it's always what you don't see is the most scariest thing. Fear of the unknown is the most scariest thing, and that's what the first two mastered so well. And the second one did really good, especially how this movie ends. Brilliant. Yeah, love this film. One of my favorites of the decade. Coming in at number 6 is The Babadook. The Babadook, I'm going to tell you guys a little mini story when I first saw this film. I saw this film when it first came out. I'll admit, I thought it was overrated. I thought it was a bit overrated. I didn't see the praise of this film. I'm like, why do people love it so much? It's just a simple ghost story. It's a little dull. The lead character is decent, but nothing that great. It's not that scary. Why do people love it so much? Then I watched it a second time. And then I watched it a third time, and now I've grown to actually love this film. What S.C. Davis did was so good. How the movie is acted and directed and even written is really great. And a lot of great atmosphere, a lot of great subtlety to the film. The Babadook himself is very creepy, very unsettling, and though how the movie ends is also very creepy, unsettling, very deep, and thought-provoking, and I think it's a very smart, and it's a very clever horror film. At first, I didn't care for it, but now, as time ages, just like Lights Out, the more times I watch The Babadook, the more attached I get to it, and the more I respect it. It's a great, well-made film, wonderful filmmaking, and yeah, it's a truly great film. Coming in number 5 is the Netflix horror film directed by Mike Flanagan. No, it is not Gerald's Game. That's still a good film, but it's Hush. Hush is so good. I love the story of this deaf girl in the middle of nowhere, and she's writing and stuff, and then she gets stalked by this creepy motherfucker played by John Gallagher Jr. with this creepy mask. And it is brilliant. I love it. This is my favorite Mike Flanagan film. This is so well done because it's all got to do with sound and stuff. It's creepy enough if someone breaks into your house and tries to kill you. That itself is scary. But it's more terrified when you're deaf and you can't hear. You don't know where he is and stuff. There's so many scenes like he's right behind her and she can't hear and stuff. It is just terrifying. It is such a scary, unsettling plot. It's not like a scary movie, but the idea is scary because this could happen to people. There are deaf people and they stay home alone and stuff and they don't know who's in their house, and it is creepy. The performances are great. Mike Flanagan's direction is so well done. And yeah, Kay Siegel is in this film. She's so good. And John Gallagher Jr. plays an amazing sociopath. And yeah, it's a really intense film. And yeah, love it. Coming in number 4 is another film that came out last year, and that is Get Out. Yes, Get Out. Written and directed by Key and Peele himself, Jordan Peele. Amazing job. This is such a great spooky film. This is a great film about racism and stuff, and classism and stuff. It's about this guy, played by Daniel Kaluuya, and his girlfriend, and basically he's going to meet her parents, and her parents just seem a little off, and you find out why they're off. No spoilers, just in case you haven't seen it, but this is a fantastic homage to great old school horror films like Rosemary's Baby and The Stepford Wives, and yeah, it's great. It's darkly comedic, but it's also a very spooky, very realistic horror film that has something to say about society. It's fantastic. Daniel Kaluuya is fantastic. What's her name? Ashley Williams. She's really great. Bradley Whitford is great. Catherine Keener. They're all great in this film. How Jordan Peele directed this film. So well done. This movie will probably get a Best Picture nomination, which will be like one of the few horror films that get nominated for Best Picture, and well deserved. It is such a great film. Very groundbreaking film. It was at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but now it's at 99%, but such a great film. Really great accomplishment, and yeah, good job, Jordan Peele. Coming in number 3 is a fantastic zombie film, a Japanese zombie film that more people just need to see. It's on Netflix right now. Please watch it, and that is Train to Busan. Train to Busan is amazing. It is so good. I can't stress it enough. Go watch this movie. Everyone has Netflix, so there's no reason why you should not watch this film. It is fucking great. Great film. Basically this father and daughter on this train, and basically a zombie apocalypse is happening, and one person on the train is infected, and basically these people have to work, they get their way to each station of the train to get to safety and stuff, and each train station they get to, it's more and more infected and stuff, and it's an intense zombie apocalypse film. It shows the realism of people and how people would survive and how desperate people get to survive, the good and the bad of humanity, and it's intense. It is also sad, heart-wrenching. It is just, it's a hell of a watch. go check it out. If you love zombie films, you'll adore this film. But even if you don't, you just like a good horror film or just a great, interesting character study, still see it. Train to Busan is a great film. Coming in number 2 is a tie between two films I absolutely love. James Wan, what he did with both these films is absolutely incredible. That's The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 are both incredible films. Great spooky films about the Warrens tracking these ghosts, spirits, and demons and stuff. The first one's a family, and the second one is during Amityville. Both are such well-contained, well-structured films. Both spooky. Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga are both amazing in both films. Both have great scores, great stories, interesting characters, and they're both scary as fucking shit. And yeah, love them both. And my number 1 favorite horror film of this decade is The Cabin in the Woods. Yes, The Cabin in the Woods. This is the collaboration of Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon. And when you get these two together, you get something fucking awesome. Something that's wickedly twisted fun. This is so good. It's The Cabin in the Woods. It's a great homage to classic horror films. It is a great comedic horror film. Love it. The characters are great. What the story is all building up to is amazing. The third act is just so good. It's a lot of great Joss Whedon actors from a lot of great Joss Whedon shows like Fran Kranz and stuff, and love it. Everything about this movie is just done so well. It's funny, it's brutal, it's gross, it's out there, it's so awesome and original. It's Joss Whedon, it's Drew Goddard, it's amazing. The best horror film of this decade, in my opinion, hands down. So yeah, that was my top 10 favorite horror films of this decade from 2010 to 2018. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? If not, give me your guys' top 10 favorite horror films of this decade so far in your guys' opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.